Matt Flynn threw for 480. Matt Stafford threw for 520. There were 11 touchdown passes. Yeah. Flynn threw for 6. Stafford threw for 5. And that one extra touchdown ended up being the difference. Yep. There were 6 turnovers in that game. Stafford was 36 of 59, and Flynn was 31 of 44. But let's go to the final drive. According to Captain Comeback in here, that drive was very impressive by Matt Flynn at the end.
Yeah, like I said, just to kind of pull it all together and do it in such, if there was ever a game that kind of represented today's NFL, and I actually just was working on this morning, Butch, a story for Sports Illustrated about the year of the passing game and all the incredible records that fell in the course of a season in all manners, from tight end, the 2 greatest seasons by tight ends with this year, all the greatest passer rating up and down the board, and this game really kind of symbolized that. And the thing about Flynn is not only did he set a franchise record with 6 touchdown passes, he set a franchise record for passing yards. And this is the Packers. This is a team with 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks in its history. And also, assuming Brett Favre gets in, which you all know he will.
Brett Favre and
the reigning Super Bowl MVP and Aaron Rodgers. It was really a performance in a game for the ages, but one that kind of symbolizes what the NFL has become. My concern is, and this will be in the Sports Illustrated piece, the passing stats have become too gaudy. It's become too blasé, and almost quarterbacks are too efficient, Butch, because scoring, believe it or not, is not that high historically speaking compared to what it's been. And there've been years in the 40s, 50s, and 60s when teams scored more points. So all these passing yards, all this passing has not resulted in more points necessarily. I think that's kind of one of the interesting storylines from the 2011 season.
While it was an eye-opener to a lot of people that the backup quarterback for the Packers came in the final week of the season and threw 6 touchdown passes, does that say more about the strength of the Packers team, or does it say more about Matt Flynn himself?
Well, there was a story, I don't know if it was this offseason or last offseason, called that a writer, and I wish I remembered his name, a writer from from the Green Bay Post-Gazette or whatever it is, called Matt Flynn the best backup quarterback in football. And we did a story on the irrational exuberance of August football. Right, when everyone's the greatest and everyone's going to win the Super Bowl, right? And I remember distinctly writing that story when I saw Matt Flynn's numbers, and I said, we owe that guy an apology, whoever wrote that story, and I apologize for not remembering. But we kind of said, Matt Flynn, but now he's going to be the hot commodity, kind of like Kevin Kolb was last year, but I think with a better resume in a lot of ways than Kolb. Kolb, I don't know where that hype came about him, but Matt Flynn almost beat the Patriots last year, by the way, and at New England when playing back, playing in place of Aaron Rodgers. Beats the Lions. This guy, obviously, he's shown in his limited time he can play in the NFL. So I think that'll be an interesting storyline. By the way, one thing, I don't know if you had planned to talk about it, but from Captain Comeback this week, do or die 2-point conversions in the NFL.
Yeah.
And we saw the Texans almost beat the Titans on a 2-point conversion with fourth-string quarterback Jake Delhomme. Talk about a team.
Part of the reason why Kubiak tried it. He was like, if we didn't make it, I want it off the field.
Want it off the field. And by the way, it made it a really exciting game. But there's been 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only been 7 in since the 2-point conversion was instituted almost 2 decades ago. So I'd like to see more of that. I think it's great.
How many converted, does he say?
Converted 3. There's been 6. 3 of 3 have succeeded. So a 50% chance. What if you kick this one and go to overtime? Are your chances 50-50? I don't know.
So give me one reason, if you're a team out there looking at Matt Flynn, maybe it's just an opinion, or maybe you got some numbers to back this up. Why is he Matt Schaub as opposed to Matt Castle, Kevin Cobb, Rob Johnson, or many of the other backup quarterbacks who have been targeted by other teams, given up draft picks, and haven't panned out?
I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying if you look purely at his numbers, he has 93, I think 94 career
passes. He's got 9 touchdown passes in 2 starts.
And I know, it's ridiculous. He's put up really good numbers, whereas Kevin Kolb, I don't know, he did not have great numbers. I don't know where that mythology about him came from. Matt Schaub had put up good numbers in his time as a backup. So I think, let's face it, free agency is a crapshoot. The draft is a crapshoot. We don't know who's going to succeed and who's not. Even Andrew Luck, the can't-miss kid, who knows? Tim Couch was a number 1 overall draft pick. People debated Peyton Manning versus Ryan Leaf as a number 1 overall pick. So we don't know. So I think if I'm a team that needs a quarterback, and by the way, the disparity, we talked about all the passing records this year, Butch, the disparity between the great teams and the bad teams is unbelievable. The Rams threw 9 touchdown passes this year. That's like a number you'd see from 1944.
Think about that with Sam Bradford.
For
most of the year.
So there's a lot of teams out there that need quarterbacks, and I think Matt Flynn's as good as a lot of players.
I will say this for the Matt Flynn, buyer beware, because the 9 touchdowns he threw were against the Packers defense, against the Lions defense, and against the Patriots defense. So
not a lot of tough defense being played there.